Hello, I'm Florian and I'm an embedded system engineer at Sunbirds. Today we're going to see how to do a complete server tutorial. First, we will do the mission planning, then I will show you the operation on the field with real drone footage, then I will show you the geotagging, and we will finish with the post-processing and the creation of an ortho photo. So what I want to do is create a survey over this area. What I need to do first is go to the plan view, then on RTM and click elevation display. Alright, as I can see here on the map, the elevation data are displayed, and I can see here there is a hill, so I will need to take that into account when I will create my mission. To remove it, you can just click elevation display again. So let's start with the mission planning. First, what you need to do is go to the plan view, then click on waypoint, and on the map you will have a warning telling you that you are in offline mode. Then you can move your home and your takeoff. Your home will be replaced when you will have a GPS location when you'll be on the field. So then what I want to do is create a survey. I want to keep 70% of front lap and side lap. The angle and the turnaround distance are good, but what I want to change is altitude. I want to have 100 meters. Then I want to drag the corners so my survey can cover the area I want. There, and then, alright. So I'm happy with the survey. So now what I want to do is add a landing point. So I will click on landing and then here. Alright. Then I want to change the angle of the landing. Alright, so the landing points will be aligned with the takeoff points to take the wind into account. I can check the altitudes. Everything seems to be good. So what I want to do now is save my mission. Go to sync, save to file. Then on the desktop, we'll name it survey movie.plan. Alright, save it. So my mission is saved and I can go on the field, load it and fly it.
Now that you're on the field, start to put the wind joiners in, then plug your wings and connect them. Then close the wings blocker. Now it's time to put the payload in and the battery. Now that your drone is mounted, you have to get it ready to fly, so start your radio and safety switch your drone. On the ground control station, wait for the connection and the downloading of the flight parameters. Go to the plan view, to sync, load from file, and then load your mission. Right here, I want to move a bit the takeoff, so it's going to be adjusted regarding to the wind. I can now verify my mission points. Then when I'm done, I can upload the mission on my drone. Now that the mission is uploaded, it's time to arm the drone. So arm it on the ground control station and do the flight projects. First, test the manual control. Then test the stabilize control. Then proceed to motor test. Now it's time for the camera projects. So click OK. Make sure that the camera is turning on. Click OK. And make sure that the camera is turning off. You are now ready to fly in mission mode. As you can see on the ground control station, you can see the flight as well as the pictures taken by the drone. Now that your drone has landed and is disarmed, go to geotag and download the geotags on your PC and get the picture from the camera SD card. Then click select geotag and select the geotags on your PC and select the image directory. And now you can start tagging your pictures with your geotags.
Alright, now what I want to do is take my geotag pictures, select them all and import them in Photoscan. Now we have our pictures. What we need to do first is go to workflow, align photos. We can choose the accuracy of the alignment. For this example, I will choose the lowest. Alright, now I have my aligned photos, and what I want to do is go to workflow and either create a dense cloud or a mesh. Here I'm going to build a mesh. You can choose the face count. With a higher face count, you will have a better resolution. So for this example, I'm going to choose medium. Alright, now my 3D model has been created. What I want to do next is go to workflow and build my author mosaic. You can, if you want to, estimate the size of your author mosaic in pixels. But before creating an author mosaic, as you can see, you have to save your project. I'm going to File, Save, and save it on my desktop. Alright. Now I can go again here to workflow, build author mosaic, and click OK. Alright, now my author mosaic has been created, and what I want to do is export the author photo. So I go to Export, Export JPEG TIFF, export it to desktop, author photo, save. Alright, now the exportation is done, and what I can do is open the author photo. Alright, as you can see here, we have the final results of our complete survey mission. Thank you for watching.